How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. South Korea plans to submit bill to freeze North Korea assets. The government of South Korea is reportedly planning to submit a bill that will track and freeze North Korean crypto and virtual assets that are used to fund illicit weapon programs. Multiple anonymous government sources confirmed on August 3rd that the bill is in the works. A government official who remained anonymous reportedly said that the bill would reflect the president's belief that the country's cybersecurity framework needs to be repaired. Another unnamed source who works in the administration said that the bill's latest version contains the ways to track and neutralize crypto and other virtual assets stolen by North Korea through hacks and exploits. The administration is also reportedly planning on creating a national cybersecurity committee under the direct control of the president. Sam Bankman-Fried files memo asking court to block prosecutor evidence. The memorandum, penned by Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyer, Mark Cohen, calls the request filed by the United States DOJ unfounded and overbroad, among other things. He argues that most of the issues raised by the government cannot be properly addressed at the current stage, and claims that the requests seek to admit irrelevant and prejudicial evidence regarding conduct that is no longer or never was charged, to undercut any potential defense, and to admit broad categories of hearsay and other improper evidence. He goes on to argue that the requests from the prosecutor are unsupported by law and unworkable in practice and therefore shouldn't be granted. So they're saying that because the DOJ wants some of these witnesses barred, they're basically using prejudice and trying to use hearsay to bring these people out of the defense when they're arguing that they are needed for the defense. Onto the charts. We are not on the daily, so bear with me. We did try to break our support resistance area again, however, we are slightly coming down. Our stochastic's coming down, our RSI is coming down, our VWAP is heading up, and our money flow is trying to head up. Our momentum's trying to come up as well. We have maybe a slight bearish divergence trying to form as we are making consistent lows here, but our momentum is getting higher lows. So that could form a bullish divergence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we will necessarily go to the moon. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are getting a little bit of a pullback, so even though our altcoins look a little more stable, we are seeing slight pullback still. Our stochastic's coming out, our RSI is coming out, the money flow is rounding away from that neutral, the VWAP hasn't broken bullish, and the momentum's still coming out. Overall, if the VWAP breaks down from here, we could get another leg down and see Bitcoin dominance slip, which would mean if the total slips, so our altcoins and Bitcoin slips, that means people are most likely either going to stablecoins or selling off and going to dollars. I know a few people where they're trying to say now's the time to sell, which that's terrible advice in my opinion, but I'm not a financial advisor. Over on Bitcoin futures, we are trying to head up. Stochastic's coming down. Our RSI is trying to head up. Our VWAP is under that neutral. We do have a bit of bearish action here, but it's pretty flat, so if it can bounce from here, we could see some bullish momentum to the upside and fill some of these gaps. Our money flow is pressing down and our momentum's coming out, so we do look a little more bearish. Even though we are trying to get a little bit of an upside, we are pulling away. Over on Bitcoin, we are falling back out of our flag. So we have not confirmed into it. That's why it's nice to wait for another candle to see if your trend confirms. If you're waiting for us to run up and you're betting along, you could have taken a hit here. Our stochastic is losing steam, RSI is losing steam, our VWAP is starting to roll away, our money flow is starting to taper off, and our momentum's coming out. Let's see, do we have any volume profiles? We have our point of control way down here, our value area high in our golden pocket. So our value area high is right around here where we kind of have that top. Our point of control is right around where our breakdown point could be. So a little more confluence for that breakdown point. If we zoom back in, we are pushing away from this flag, which could push us lower. We do have this higher volume node, which we are rejecting away from. Stochastic is coming down, our RSI is heading out, our money flow is coming out, and it is in a bearish trend. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory. Momentum's also coming out, so overall, we do have some bearish momentum here that could bring us lower. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to push slightly back up, not too strong, so we could get a retest after breaking down. Our RSI wants to head up, stochastic's starting to head out. Our money flow is rejecting that neutral, and our VWAP is kind of flat here. Our momentum's coming out with a red dot as our VWAP's breaking bearish, so overall we do have some bearish pressure here. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is maintaining bullish strength, so we do have that green money flow here, but it's not really carrying over yet to the 2 hour. If it maintains on the 1 hour and carries to the 2 hour, we could see a bounce from here and some upside. Our VWAP is trying to push up, it is toward that neutral, but it's starting to round away as well. Keep that in mind. Our money flow, while it's still in the bullish territory, is tapering out, so keep an eye on that. Our stochastic's not managing to get too much above this 30, so if it pushes below here, we could get some bearish action, and our RSI is starting to slip as well. Over on graph, real quick, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, join us in that Discord link above. I made it where you'll get more of the channel unlocked when you join. We've had a few people join and just leave. It'd be nice if you said why you left or asked a question before you left so I could answer it and help you out. The last person that left joined at like 4 in the morning. Please be patient. It may take a little bit for us to get answer, especially if we're asleep. Graph is starting to head down. We do have a wick that tried to break us back above, but we are getting a bit of a rejection. RSI is starting to taper out. Stochastic's starting to taper out. It does have a bullish cross. Our money flow is starting to form a bearish trend as it's getting a slightly lower high and bending down. Our VWAP's starting to roll under that neutral, so we could set some bearish momentum here. Our momentum is coming out as well, so overall I would be watchful. If we get another red candle on these coins, we could see further drops. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic is falling pretty harsh. RSI is coming out. Our momentum is rolling out. Our money flow is breaking bearish. It went bullish, broke into our pattern, and then rejected pretty quickly and pretty strong. If we get below this 3-4 zone, we could see continued bearish momentum and we could see another leg down. That VWAP is kind of starting to roll though, so if the VWAP pushes up and the money flow breaks back to the bullish side, we could see a push forward, so bear that in mind. Our RSI wants to head up here. Our stochastic is getting pretty tight and wants to make a bullish cross, but it's starting to head away, so the RSI is losing its strength. Our money flow is on the bearish territory, starting to head down. It is pretty flat, meeting resistance where it's bounced a few times, so keep that in mind. If it manages to make a bounce and go bullish, we could get some continued upside. Our VWAP is trying to come up, but it's getting a little bit of resistance around 11. So if it rolls over here and the money flow continues down, we could see another leg down. Our momentum is coming out too, so overall we're a little wishy-washy here. Over on the 1 hour, we could set up some sort of double bottom if we get that continued bullish momentum. Our money flow overall is starting to taper out. RSI is starting to taper out. Our stochastic is trying to head up. We do have a bullish divergence. It's kind of hard to see with green money flow, but you can see it with that R. Our VWAP is pressing higher and our momentum's trying to come up with a double green dot, so that wants to give us some continued upside. But if that VWAP gets rejected here, that could get invalidated. So if the money flow keeps going in a bearish direction and the VWAP rolls over and meets resistance somewhere around here or where it is, then we could get a break to the bearish side and see further lower prices. Over on the daily on Anchor, we are pushing pretty flat here, so we could make a bear flag under our bear flag. RSI is pretty flat, our stochastic is pretty beat down. Our VWAP just can't break to the bullish side, but is giving our momentum a double green dot, so we do have a little bit of hopium to push up. Our momentum, like I said, does want to curl. The money flow is trying to push up, but we're getting a red candle with a hammer candle. So if we don't get a green candle here, this could act as a top candle and we could see a rollover. However, if we get a green candle, that could act as a bottom candle and that could push us up. If you're not familiar with candle patterns, again, join the Discord link above and you'll be able to download some resources. They'll be available right away now. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a manipulation X pushing us down, so we could get further downside. Stochastic is coming out, our RSI is rolling away, our VWAP is making a bearish trend, our momentum is rejecting away from that neutral. Our money flow is starting a bearish trend as well, so I would be watchful. We could see continued downside if we're not careful here. It does look like we have a little bit of a gap up we could make right around this 1818 zone, so that is a potential jump up, especially since it's on a higher time frame. Over on the 2 hour, you see that same gap. RSI is trying to head up, our stochastic wants to head up, our money flow is trying to break through that neutral, and our VWAP is trying to head up. It has a slight bullish trend. Our momentum's overall coming out. So if our money flow can't break bullish and our VWAP can't break bullish, we're likely going to continue down. However, we do have that possibility to jump right here on that 1818 and then jump right here on that 1834 and then possibly roll away afterwards, kind of like how we filled that other gap from the last night. Over on the 1 hour, we do have some more gaps here. Our highest gap, 1845, so that could be our highest point. We do still have this other gap around 1866, so if we come up, fill all these wicks or all these gaps, we could see a rejection from that too. Our RSI is overall tapering out. Our money flow is making a bullish trend, is making a decent bounce here. Our VWAP is heading up, so if we get a higher high on our VWAP, we could start a bullish trend here. Our momentum does want to come up, but since we broke bearish with the VWAP, it does have a red dot trying to bring it down currently. Over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to push back into our flag, so that could be a hopeful sign for us. Our RSI is pretty flat, our stochastic wants to make a bullish cross right around this neutral zone, so if it manages to break up and push higher, we could regain bullish territory. Just be warned, if we jump to this 52-cent zone and roll away, that would be a rejection of our point control for our volume profile, at which point our value area low would be our next stop. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, not very strong currently, but is starting some bullish strength. Our momentum's coming up, money flow's coming up, so overall we do have some hope to continue some bullish action. I like to see a stronger green candle, kind of like this, push us higher. Over on the 4 hour, we would also need to come back down, retest that point of control, and make a strong bounce off of it in order for us to continue up. We do have a reversal arrow here that wants to end our trend. We were in a bit of a downtrend. We did break up, so that end could mean we could roll back under. So it would be a little cautionary. Our money flow, our stochastic, has a bearish trend, and that is pushing us lower. We are trying to make a bounce off that support though. Our stochastic is making a bounce off the last few candles. It does have a bullish cross, but that bullish cross is starting to kind of round away, so watch if it falls. Our RSI here is starting to taper off as well, so if the stochastic and RSI lose strength, we could see those start to fall and weaken our other indicators as well. Our momentum is starting to come out as our VWAP is struggling to get above this 9 or 10 area. So if our VWAP gets a rejection here, we could get another leg down. Our money flow is starting a slight bearish trend as we're getting slight lower highs and starting to arch out. So if we make lower lows and start to break down, we could get another leg down. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic wanted to run up pretty strongly, but it's starting to get tight. So if it starts to break and roll away, we could get a bearish drop from here. We are about a 60, so that is a zone where it likes to get rejected from, at least lately. Our RSI is right on the same position as our stochastic. It is getting slightly lower highs though. Our momentum is starting to roll away, and our VWAP is starting to push down. Our money flow is a little worrisome as it isn't maintaining a trend. So if the money flow breaks bearish, we could get a quick breakdown. However, if money flow manages to sustain strong bullish momentum, we could push forward. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting a green candle that tried to give us a kind of tweezer bottom, but we're getting indecision now. So if we get a red candle next and push lower, we could get a breakdown below our resistance or our support and make it resistance. Our stochastic is pushing away. It is overall curling out. RSI is overall making lower highs and pushing away. Our momentum is kind of tapering off here. It does have a green dot though, as our VWAP is in the bullish territory, making a bounce off that neutral. If the VWAP can continue forward from here, we may see continued bullish momentum, especially if the money flow maintains bullish strength. However, if the money flow and VWAP continue to roll away from here, we could start another leg down. Over on algo for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a bounce off our support, even though we are coming down. This could be positive for us if we get a green candle to set up some bullish momentum. Our RSI is starting to taper off. Our stochastic does have a bullish cross and it is coming up though. So if the stochastic can maintain strength, the RSI may be able to roll back up. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it's struggling. Our money flow is pushing higher. We are getting higher highs. So we could form a bullish trend here even if we roll down a little bit. Our momentum is trying to push higher, so we do have that going for us as well. Over on the 4 hour, we have some green candles trying to break through, but we're not getting that push down. This is a long lower shadow candle. If we get a little bit more of a body, currently it would be more of a dragonfly candle though. The dragonfly candle could represent we could have some indecision and we could roll, but overall, if we don't manage to get a push through this resistance, this could be a sign we could make a bounce and continue some bullish trajectory. If we continue in an uptrend though, I would watch out. Stochastic's coming down, RSI is coming out, our momentum's coming away, our money flow is breaking that bearish territory and slightly heading out, and our VWAP is in the bearish territory as well. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a tweezer bottom here, so if we close with this, that could propel us forward. Our RSI is trying to head up, our stochastic's really tight, but it does want to diverge back up and push higher, so if that can happen, we may get a push up. Money flow is in the bullish territory and our VWAP's trying to make a bullish trend, so if the VWAP continues up and breaks bullish, we could get a pretty strong move to the upside. Our momentum does want to taper up, so we do look like we want to push higher, but it is also coming out pretty sharply, so that VWAP's going to need to push pretty strongly to help reverse that. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is pushing bullish, but our RSI is starting to flatten out right around this 47 where it's rejected a couple of other times, so watch out. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, but we hit a high and we're starting to taper off. If this continues, we could get some bearish action. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, so those two things could help propel our medium to higher time frames if they maintain, but just keep an eye on them because if they keep weakening, that could eventually get sucked out and we could see those higher to medium time frames flash bullish and then break down. Our momentum is trying to come up with a green dot as our VWAP's breaking bullish, so we do have a few things going for us, but like I said, just manage risks properly. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.